Hello, good morning, students. So, in the previous class, we have discussed the Young's double slit experiment, theory of interference, the intensity of the sources, as well as the intensity of a light for the bright fringes and dark fringes. So, today we continue with the expression for fringe width. So when two coherent sources emitting light waves, when they superpose each other at various points on the screen, alternate bright and dark bands are formed due to destructive interference and constructive interference. Bright bands are as a result of constructive interference and dark bands are as a result of destructive interference. So the all bright bands and dark bands are equally spaced. The fringe width is denoted by letter beta. It is denoted by letter beta. It is the separation or the distance between the centers of two consecutive bright or dark fringes. So, the separation or distance between the centers of two consecutive bright or dark fringes is called fringe width. Here A and B are two coherent sources separated by a small distance d. It is in millimeters. The width of the slit, the opening in the cardboard, the rectangular slit width is of the order of a fraction of a millimeter. Both A and B are equidistant from a single slit, and a screen is placed at a suitable distance 1 meter or 1.5 meter away from the plane of the two slits to obtain the interference pattern. So here A and B are coherent sources. Small d is a separation between the two sources A and B. Capital D is the screen distance from the plane of the two slits. Lambda is a wavelength of light coming from both the sources A and B. O is the center of the screen wherein the light waves arrive at O from both A and B in phase. Since the path difference being same, they arrive in phase. Constructive interference takes place, and at the center of the screen, bright band or bright fringe is formed called a central maximum. So bright fringe is formed at O as the waves arrive in phase. Let us consider a point P on the screen at a distance x from the center of the screen. So on either side of the center of the screen there will be alternate bright and dark bands. There can be a bright band at P or a dark band at P depending upon the path difference. Here AL is a perpendicular drawn to BP. Light waves from B reach to the point P. Light waves from A also reach to the point P simultaneously. There is a path difference BL. Because of this path difference, here for instance I have shown it with one wave, means path difference is 1 lambda. Then the phase difference between the waves arriving at this particular point P is 2 pi. If it is 2 lambda, the path difference, the phase difference will be 4 pi. 3 lambda, 6 pi. Suppose if it is a lambda by 2, phase difference is pi. 1.5 lambda is the path difference, then the phase difference is 3 pi. Likewise, so depending upon this path difference, there will be corresponding phase difference between the waves arriving at a point P. The waves either superpose each other constructively or destructively. So path difference BL is the difference between the distance traveled by the light from B to P and A to P. We are writing it as BP minus AP. From a triangle BNP, from a right angled triangle BNP, small d is the distance between the two slits. So here M is a point exactly opposite to the source A. N is the point on the screen exactly opposite to the source B. Then OM is d by 2. ON is also d by 2. D by 2 plus d by 2 is d. From a right angled triangle BNP, using a Pythagoras theorem, BP square is equals to BN square plus NP square. BN square plus NP square. BN is the distance of the screen from the plane of the two slits. That's why BN square is a D square, whereas NP square is X plus D by 2 whole square. X plus D by 2 whole square. Similarly, from a triangle AMP, AP square is AM square plus MP square. AM square plus MP square, which can be written as D square plus X minus D by 2 whole square. Then BP square minus AP square. BP square minus AP square is D square plus X plus D by 2 whole square minus of square bracket D square plus X minus D by 2 whole square. A square A minus B, A square minus B square can be written as A minus B into A plus B. Likewise, BP minus AP into BP plus AP, expanding the brackets and simplifying. Here D square held cancel, X square held cancel, D square by 4 and D square by 4 held cancel, 1xt and here 1xt, together it is a 2xd. BP minus AP, we can write it as 2xd divided by BP plus AP. The distance between the two slits, that is a small d, being too small compared to the screen distance capital D, and point P lies very close to the center of the screen O, we can take this BP and AP nearly equal to the screen distance D, because we are interested in path difference BP minus AP. Here if you take D and D, D minus D results 0, but only we consider BP equals to AP, that equals to screen distance for the right hand side quantity itself. Because we are interested in this path difference. This path difference decides the phase difference between the waves arriving at a P. Depending upon the phase difference, the waves superpose each other either constructively or destructively, resulting a bright band or dark band. So we are solely concentrating on the path difference. Therefore, path difference denoted by delta BP minus AP is equals to 2xt divided by 2d, since BP equals to AP equals to the screen distance D. 2 held cancel here, so we are left with the xd divided by capital D. Let us call this as equation 1. X is the distance of a point P on the screen from the center of the screen. Small d is the distance of separation between the two slits. Capital D is the distance of the screen from the plane of the two slits. The waves from A and B arriving at any point on the screen interfere either constructively or destructively depending upon this path difference delta, that is a BP minus AP. For a bright fringe to occur or form at a point P on the screen, the path difference, already I have discussed conditions for the constructive interference and conditions for the destructive interference, both in terms of phase difference as well as path difference. So for a bright fringe to be formed at a point P, the path difference delta must be integral multiple of lambda. If a path difference is 1 lambda, at a point P, the first bright fringe is been formed with a phase difference 2 pi. If a path difference is 2 lambda, the second bright fringe is formed with a phase difference 4 pi. If a path difference, that is a BP minus AP, is suppose 3 lambda, then the phase difference is 6 pi, that is at a point P, the third bright band is formed on one side of the center of the screen. Then from equations 1 and 2, here the path difference is xd by 2d, and as per the previous discussion conditions for the constructive interference, the path difference must be integral multiple of lambda. So equating these two equations, we can write xn d divided by capital D equals to n lambda. Means nth bright fringe is formed at a point P, and xn is the distance of a nth bright fringe from the center of the screen. Therefore, distance of a nth bright fringe at a point P from O, we can write xn equals to cross multiplying n d lambda divided by small d, where n takes values 0, 1, 2, 3. If n is 0, then it is a central bright band, x0, the center of the screen. At a point O, the central maxima or a central bright band is formed for n equals to 0. For n equals to 1, that is the x1 is the distance of a first bright band from the center of the screen. We get substituting the values for d lambda and d. For n equals to 2, we get the position of the second bright band from the center of the screen. For n equals to 3, we get the x3, that is the distance of the third bright band from the center of the screen. Further, for then distance of a n plus 1th bright fringe from the center of the screen. If I take n equals to 5, the next bright fringe is 6th one. If I take n equals to 3, the next fringe is 4th bright fringe. Then the distance of n plus 1th bright fringe from the center of the screen O, I can write x n plus 1 is equals to n plus 1 d lambda by d. Therefore, fringe width beta is a distance of a n plus 1th bright fringe from the center of the screen minus distance of a nth bright fringe from the center of the screen. X n plus 1 is n plus 1 d lambda by d, that we are writing here. Xn is n d lambda by d, and on simplification we do get d lambda by d. So the fringe width for bright fringes, it is d lambda by d. Let us call this as equation 3. For a dark fringe to be formed at a point P, the path difference must be odd multiple of lambda by 2. Phase difference must be odd multiple of pi, whereas the path difference delta must be odd multiple of lambda by 2. That is BP minus AP or BL must be half lambda, 1.5 lambda, 2.5 lambda, 3.5 lambda. Okay, 3.5 lambda is 7 lambda by 2. Likewise, odd multiple of lambda by 2, let us call this is equation 4. Then from equation 1 and 4 we can write x n dash d divided by capital D equals to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. Distance of a nth dark fringe to be formed at a point P from the center of the screen O, x n dash, I can write it as a 2n plus 1 d lambda by 2d, where n takes values 0, 1, 2, 3. For n equals to 0, that is the distance of the first dark band from the center of the screen. For n equals to 1, that is the distance of the second dark band from the center of the screen. Thus, then distance of a n plus 1th dark fringe from the center of the screen O, x n plus 1 dash is here for this n we are considering n plus 1, the next dark band, that is a n plus 1th dark band, 2n plus 1 plus 1 into d lambda by 2d. Then fringe width for dark fringes, beta dash equals to distance of a n plus 1th dark fringe from the center of the screen minus distance of a nth dark fringe from the center of the screen is again d lambda by d. For bright fringes, the fringe width, for bright fringes beta, the fringe width is d lambda by d, and for dark fringes the fringe width is also d lambda by d. In other words, both dark fringes and bright fringes are of same width. From equations 3 and 5, beta equals to beta dash means the width of a bright fringe is the same as the width of a dark fringe is given by d lambda by d. So it is a linear width of the bright fringe or the dark fringe on the screen. So from this it is evident that all bright and dark fringes are of equal width. Thus the fringe width beta is directly proportional to screen distance, directly proportional to wavelength, inversely proportional to distance of separation between the two slits. If a screen distance is doubled, the fringe width also doubles. If wavelength doubles, the fringe width also doubles. If distance of separation between the two slits is doubled, whereas the fringe width decreases and it becomes half. So the fringe width beta is directly proportional to both the screen distance and wavelength of light. So wavelength of light for violet it is less, whereas wavelength of red is more. 4000 angstrom units is the wavelength for violet color, whereas 8000 angstrom units is the wavelength of a red color. So we can clearly state that the fringe width for red color is greater than fringe width for red color is greater than the fringe width for the violet, since wavelength of violet is less than wavelength for red color. So Note number 1, angular width of a fringe is given by theta equals to beta by d. Beta is a d lambda by d divided by capital D. Capital D held cancel. We are left with the lambda by d. Here beta is a linear width, theta is angular width of the bright and the dark fringes. It has been calculated by taking the ratio of a wavelength of light to the distance of separation between the two slits. All bright band fringes or bands are equally bright. For an experiment, performing an experiment in the laboratory, all bright fringes appear equally bright. But strictly speaking, graphically, if you see the intensity of light on the screen versus the phase difference or the path difference, the intensity is a maximum at the center of the screen. On either side of the center of the bright band, the intensity of light decreases, but for an experimenter viewing these interference pattern through the micrometer eyepiece mounted on the optical bench, all bright fringes appear to be equally bright, whereas all dark fringes are equally dark. Suppose if a white light is used, if red light used, then bright bands are of red colors. If green light is used, bright bands are all of green color. If a blue light is used, monochromatic light, blue light is used, and all bright bands are of blue in color, separated by dark spaces in between. Instead of monochromatic light, if you go for a polychromatic light such as a white light, then the central fringe is white. At the center of the screen at a point O, the bright band is formed and it is a white in color. So central fringe is white if a white light is used. And all other fringes on either side of the center of the screen are colored fringes. Blue colored fringe is nearer to the central white fringe and red is farther away. As I said, the fringe width for the red is more than the fringe width for both blue and violet. So fringe width for red having a larger wavelength being more, the red is farther away from the central white fringe on the screen. When whole Young's double slit experimental apparatus is immersed in a liquid or water, then the wavelength of light decreases, speed of light decreases, whereas frequency remains the same. As the wavelength decreases, the fringe width also decreases because the fringe width beta is directly proportional to the wavelength. If the whole experiment is conducted in any liquid or water, then the wavelength of light in water is less than the wavelength of light in air. As wavelength decreases, the fringe width also decreases. When a thin glass sheet cover slip, so the biology students will be knowing when they are performing an experiment using a compound microscope, they putting some stains on the plant cell or the animal cells what they are observing under microscope. They place a cover slip. Cover slip is thin glass sheet. A thin glass sheet, say of thickness T and refractive index N, is placed in front of either S1 source S1 or source of light S2 or the rectangular slits S1 or S2. The fringe pattern shifts either upward or downward from the center of the screen. If this cover slip, that is a glass sheet, if S1 is covered with a glass cover slip, the fringe pattern will shift upward. If a cover slip is placed just in front of a S2, the rectangular slit, the fringe pattern shifts downward. The phase difference between the waves arriving at various points on the screen will remain constant. It will not vary if you place a glass sheet just in front of S1 or S2. If you place a glass sheet or a cover slip in front of S1, the light gets slowed down. Amplitude is not going to change, frequency is not going to change, only it gets a slowdown. If a crust reaches to a point on the screen, trough may reach at the same point from the other source, being cover slip being placed in the path of light. The constructive earlier, when constructive interference was taking place, in that place destructive interference may take place. Throughout the experiment, at that particular point, destructive interference, dark band is resulted. The shift in the fringe pattern is a delta x given by a relation T into n minus 1 d divided by d, where the symbols have their usual meaning. T is the thickness of the cover slip or a glass sheet, n is the refractive index of that glass, capital D is a screen distance, small d is a distance of separation between the two slits. What is delta x here? Delta x is shift that is produced in the fringe pattern. What we get on the screen is given by delta x equals to T into n minus 1 capital D by small d. Further, if an experimenter is performing an experiment to obtain the interference pattern in the dark room using optical bench and two coherent sources, directly will not obtain the fringe pattern on the screen. He has to view the fringe pattern, alternate bright and dark bands, through a micrometer eyepiece provided in the experiment. If he conducts this particular experiment for half an hour, during that half an hour, the point on the screen where the constructive interference takes place, it has to constructive interference only has to take place throughout the experiment. The phase relationship between the waves should not change, it should remain constant. Then necessary conditions for the sustained interference in the sense, throughout the experiment, if at one point constructive interference has taken place, then it has to be a constructive interference at that particular point. The necessary conditions to obtain sustained interference are: number one, the two sources must be coherent. That is, they should emit light waves of the same frequency having zero phase difference or constant phase difference between the waves arriving at various points on the screen. Even we can obtain the interference pattern if amplitude are slightly different. If frequencies are slightly different, frequency of light emitted by the two sources, they are slightly different, will not get the interference pattern. Frequency of light must remain same, then only the phase relationship between the waves arriving at a point remains constant. The second condition is the two sources must emit a monochromatic light. Otherwise, what happens? Different colors will produce different interference patterns. Violet light will have its own interference pattern, blue light will have its own interference pattern, red light comprised in white light has its own interference pattern, and all these interference patterns overlap. Fringes of different colors will overlap. Then third one, The amplitudes of the light waves from two sources should be same for good contrast between the fringes. If amplitudes are same, frequencies are same, amplitudes are also A and A instead of A and B, then what happens? The dark fringes are completely dark, intensity of light in the dark band is 0, then there will be a good contrast. The experiment can comfortably distinguish between the bright and dark bands. If amplitudes are slightly different, then what happens is the dark band is not completely dark. There will be some intensity of light in the dark band. The bright bands are much brighter than the dark bands. Then experimenter cannot distinguish between bright bands and dark bands effectively. In that context, to have a good contrast between or to distinguish the bright bands and the dark bands comfortably, the amplitudes of the waves coming from the two sources must be same. The fourth one, the two coherents must be close to each other. The two sources, the coherent sources must be close to each other. In other words, the distance of separation between the two slits should be of the order of millimeters, not in even centimeters. The fifth one, the sources should be very narrow. That is, width of the slits must be a fraction of a millimeter. Very narrow slits, then only the light waves bend around the sharp edges or the corners of the rectangular slit, and waves coming from these narrow slits superpose each other at various points on the screen. The sixth condition, if light beams are polarized, then the plane of polarization should be same. A light having a light vibrations confined to one single plane is called plane polarized light. If a light waves coming from a source S1, they are polarized in a vertical plane, then the waves coming from the other source S2 also have light vibrations or polarized in the vertical plane. This year, in view of COVID, this particular unit, that is a polarization of light, resolving power of microscope, resolving power of telescope, has been deleted. So polarization is not there for this syllabus for this particular year. Seventh condition, waves from two sources must interfere at a small angles. In other words, the waves must travel nearly in the waves from the two sources must travel nearly in the same direction or interfere at a small angles. There are experiments using lenses and mirrors. We can produce interference pattern. Using a lens, we can produce the interference pattern. The interference pattern consists of alternate bright and dark bands of equal width but in concentric bands. In concentric alternate bright and dark bands called as a Newton's rings. In Newton's rings, alternate bright and dark fringes are concentric bright and dark bands being formed. So this is all about the conditions, the various conditions to obtain the sustained interference pattern. So we have reduced an expression for the fringe width, and we have shown that the width of dark fringes is the same as the width of bright fringes, and fringe width depends on directly proportional to the distance of the screen and directly proportional to wavelength of light, and but inversely proportional to the distance of separation between the two slits. There are numerical sums every year. There will be a numerical sum based on this interference, wherein we have to make use of an expression for the fringe width beta equals to d lambda by d. We'll be left with the one last unit, that is a diffraction of light. Diffraction of light and expression for the, again here in diffraction pattern also there will be alternate bright and dark bands on the screen, but instead of two rectangular slit, one rectangular slit, single slit is made use or illuminated with a monochromatic light to get the diffraction pattern. So diffraction is the phenomena of bending of light waves around the sharp edges or the corners of an obstacle, and this phenomena of diffraction was discovered or invented by a scientist called Grimaldi. So in the next video we discuss in detail the last property of light, that is the diffraction of light. Thank you.